Have you been looking for a way to be able to be online in a way that you feel really good about who you are, your message, and how it looks online? I am super excited to share with us today for everybody who is here on the Simply Sarah, whether you are watching live or you are coming in at a time that works really, really well for you. I want to say welcome, but I also want to say welcome to our guest today, Donna Loeffler. She has so many gifts to share with us. And as everybody knows, the show is about empowering and enlightening and encouraging, and it's for everybody, including entrepreneurs. And Donna, we're just excited that you are here with us.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. I'm so excited to be here. And I'm so excited about everything that you're doing. I mean, it's just wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much. We are truly impacting lives, and I'm excited about that. And you and I have been walking life together for a while, having these conversations about how we can be our own vibration, how we can share what we know, who we are, in a way that allows other people to listen in, to be impacted for better. I would love for you to share how you got to where you are now, friend.
Okay. All right. I'll try to keep this short because it's kind of a long story. It actually started about 10 years ago where, okay, I have a medical background and I was a medical technologist. And I stopped working when my kids were little and we decided to homeschool our children. And so I really was occupied with that for many years. And then our kids were getting older. And I started thinking maybe there's something I want to do, like maybe start a business. I don't really know. I had done scrapbooking businesses in the past when our kids were little with creative memories, and that was always really fun, but it wasn't like a real business for me. So our kids were getting older, and I was actually on my way to my dad's house for Father's Day, and I hopped in the shower, rushing as always, running late, and all of a sudden I found something in my right breast that did not feel right, and that was a lump. It ended up being a really aggressive form of breast cancer. So that, needless to say, put me down for about a year. I had a lot of time to think, a lot of time to meditate and pray and decide like where, if I get through this cancer, which I, was doubting at the time because I had radiation and surgery and I had chemotherapy where all my hair fell out. And so I had a lot of time to really think and meditate. Okay, so I got through it. Needless to say, I'm still here. And I started thinking, yeah, I'm going to start a business, but what kind of business? And I felt like what came out of that cancer was a really strong passion to help other women not get sick and to help them stay healthy. I thought I have a healthcare medical background. This would seem like a perfect fit. So I got on a plane and I went to Florida to work with Dr. Shad Helmstetter, and he wrote a book years ago about self-talk and how to talk more positively to yourself. And I knew I would always been kind of negative with that, but I didn't know how to change it. So I became a life coach through his training for women. And so I did that for several years. And in that time, I learned how to market my business. And I started getting really involved in the technology part because it interested me. Prior to that, with Creative Memories, I started doing digital scrapbooking. And it actually reminded me a lot, building digital sales funnels, of scrapbooking, because there's stories and there's pictures and it's online. And so I started doing that with my coaching business. And people started asking me, like, do you do that yourself? Do you know how to do that? At the time, I was doing it through ClickFunnels. I said, yeah, it's really fun. And, oh, can you make one for me? And I said, well, that's not really what I do. I'm a women's life coach. Okay, great. All right. So then COVID hit, right? And during COVID, again, a lot of downtime, a lot of time alone to meditate. And I started thinking, this is getting kind of heavy. Like women, I worked with a lot of women who were at midlife, and they have a lot of problems a lot of times. And so they would come to me for help and solutions, which was great. But it started to just feel really heavy for me, because I wanted something more lighthearted and fun and just, something that could still help people in the same way. So at the same exact time, no coincidence, I'm sure, I was working with Funnel Gorgeous, and they started a certification program in marketing. So if you wanted to be a marketer and teach people how to market their businesses online, they had a program. So I was one of the very first people. I went through their program, got certified. It was really, really good training, and I loved it. So I dove in. Then I came across this software called Go High Level through the Funnel Gorgeous people. and I started a marketing agency with that as the base platform. Go High Level is the software. And so that software can do pretty much everything. And so I started using that. I really didn't know how I was going to what I was going to do with this training exactly. So for several years, I worked in many different capacities with online marketing. There's a ton of things that you can do.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm pivoting a little bit. I'm still doing the marketing training and all of it, but I'm starting a brand new, I'm probably going to get certified in it too, but it's working with people and teaching them how to collaborate and how to use other businesses to empower them to move forward and to really grow without spending a lot of money. So I call it team up, make money. And so that's what I'm doing now is I'm learning a lot. I'm started a brand new program with that. So that was kind of a long story, but here I am, lots that I've been through, and I'm just really excited now to help other people.
And I want people to be able to get a hold of you because there are so many people who are interested in how can they tell their story in a website, in a funnel, in emails, however they choose to market, however they choose to share with the world who they are, and want to be able to have somebody to guide them through that process. So your website is up right now on the screen so people can easily access. It'll also be in the show notes so people can access there as well. And Donna, I love how you share your this beautiful space of where you have been, from being in the medical field to needing people who are in the medical field to what do I do with the time that I have, and knowing that you have this heart for people and that you do enjoy fun and you do enjoy things that are lighthearted. And yes, that you are an incredible coach. That was one of the ways that I first got to know you, was through the fact that you were coaching other people and just your excitement about being able to do that and bringing in so many different pieces of life to be able to help people bolster where they were. And I can appreciate that you were at a place that you were going to continue doing that, but also wanted to move more into this fun, creative area of technology. So as you are doing these things, what are some of during the different times that you have been in those quiet places, downtime as you called them, what are some of the things tools that you used or techniques that you used that helped you to really listen internally and to know what your next step was supposed to be?
Okay, yes, that's a great question. It's funny because what I'm doing now, is mainly business coaching, but I still use a lot of the stuff that I learned with my life coaching. And I did a lot of different types of training. But one of the ones that really, that I still use that really resonated with me was heart math. I don't know if people have heard of that. They're
Yeah,
actually
sure.
growing. Yes, they're
Sure it
growing
is.
a lot. So
Mhm.
I got certified in heart math, and heart math is really a little device that you can connect to an app on your phone, and it teaches you the effectiveness of meditation. And
Mhm.
they're very short meditations that you do. It can only take 5 minutes, and you're supposed to do it twice a day for 5 minutes, but you connect yourself up to this, and it shows you in real time the stress level that you're dealing with and how as you meditate, you can see it going down. And so it's very effective. Now you can do the same meditations without that device.
Mhm.
But it kind of trains you because when you meditate, I mean, for anyone out there who meditates, which hopefully that's a lot of people, you don't really feel it working at the time. And then over time, it multiplies and gets easier. So that was one of the main tools that I used, and the self talk techniques, and just like, what am I saying to myself? Because that plays out physically in your body in many different ways. The different hormones that your body produces are directly related to the thoughts, because the thoughts become who you are really over time. What you're telling yourself is so powerful. So I have many recordings through Dr. Shad, who I trained with, and he does a beautiful job of self-talk recordings. So
Mhm.
you listen to those, and when you listen to those, you just can tell like it's helping you so much. So that was one of the things. The heart math meditating, any kind of meditating, I highly, highly recommend. One of the things that I really have a passion for too is just helping entrepreneurs stay healthy, because we sit at a computer all day for the most part. Most of entrepreneurs do now, some online, and lots of sitting. And so the sitting, they say, is the new smoking. And so we have to really work against that. And so you can see probably my chart on the back wall over there. That's my exercise chart. To say I don't really go through that whole thing every time, but just to get up and do some squats, do a little, like, a 10 second even movement, just keep getting up and doing that. But I have to say that I think, then journaling, that's the third thing I wanted to talk about, because I still, I journal in many different ways. Whenever I'm dealing with a problem, it just brings clarity to my mind, to even make a list of, pros and cons. Like if you can't make a decision, the heart math is really effective to help you get into a meditative state where you can really tap into your intuition. And this is something that we have to learn to trust, because our logical brain will take over and try to tell us what to do. And many times that's not really what we should be doing. Logically, it might sound right, but intuition that comes from the heart is, to me, always more powerful.
Mm.
So those are just a few of the things. Yeah. I mean, you know, just making decisions. Should I do this? Should I do this? I don't know. But a lot of times when you get in that meditative state, you'll start to connect the dots.
Mhm.
Like, wait a minute, I have a healthcare background. I love people. I did all this coaching as a life coach. Let's see, what else can I do? How can I put this together into a business or whatever the next step of life might be?
Yes. And I love how you're talking about the meditation and being able to have feedback. Is heart math a little bit like biofeedback then, or is it different than that?
Yeah, it's like biofeedback, because you connect it to, like, the connection thing, you connect to your ear. I'm not 100% familiar with all the different forms of biofeedback, and that's something I'm really interested in. Probably if I was, I don't know, 20 years younger, I might consider going back to school for neuroscience, just because I'm so interested in that. And when I was in school, we were taught that the brain was finite, and that no matter what happened to your brain, that was it. Like, if you were in some kind of accident, or had a stroke, there was nothing you could do, and you just have to accept it. Well, now we've proven 100%. And the reason why is because the technology, now we can see the neurons at such a small level, right? And so we can see what's really going on in the brain.
Mhm.
And lo and behold, you can totally rewire your brain in many different ways. My mom had a terrible stroke, and she recovered almost fully, was able to do almost everything that she was able to do prior, through a lot of physical therapy. So yeah, 100%, your brain will figure out a way, and so we have to believe that the body is so miraculous, that
Mm.
it can happen.
Donna, as you're sharing these incredible tools, the things that you have used, and you were talking about the brain, for me, for the first time, I need to kind of work this out a little bit further. But the inspiration that came to me is that our brain is like, if you have a theater, the brain is like the conductor, the person who has written the play, the director, all those different kinds of pieces, right? And the body really is where it's going to be played out and seen. So if I am feeling very, very stressed and my thoughts are very negative and I'm in that place and choose to stay there, and sometimes we choose to stay there because it's been modeled for us that this is how we do, and nobody has taught us or told us or modeled us a different way for us, that begins to show up in our body as dis-ease, and the things that can be, whether it happens to be stress or something else. I know that it has been a number of months since I have sat at a computer that was at a table that was too high for me, or the chair was too low. You decide what that is. And I did it for 2 days in a row. And this morning I woke up and my shoulders just hurt. And I thought, you know what? I have to change. If I'm going to sit in that beautiful room that has the incredible sunshine and I get to watch all the things that are happening outside, I either need to sit up on old telephone books or find some cushions or something else to make me taller, or choose to sit at something else that's not quite as tall as that. And just so that I can feel. So again, it's my brain going, oh, that's where I want to be. And my body going, okay, let me tell you how this is actually playing out with that. There's some great things about it, but however, you need to be taking care of this part of it as well, that we are so definitely integrated.
Oh yes, so much, and to listen to your body. Like, I love that you're saying that you're listening to your body, and you're not just trying to logically fight against it, but no, I
Mhm.
want that chair, or I want this in my life.
Yeah.
It's interesting too, because like you're saying, the brain, to what I've learned through all this, the brain is actually just an organ. It's an organ, just like your lungs are an organ. And
Yes.
so it's really in your soul, is what I believe. The soul is invisible, so you can't really see it, but you can feel it.
Yeah.
And so your soul is where the wisdom lies, and where things that are really truly meant for you,
Mhm.
the information that you need. And to me, that connects to the higher power. To me, that's God, whether you want to call it the universe, or spirit, or whoever, that's
Mhm.
fine. But I believe there's a higher power that my soul is connected to, and that's where the wisdom will come from. But the problem is, our brain tends to block out that little quiet voice that comes to us, because we're always thinking, thinking, thinking.
So
So,
I'm going to show one more link that you have given us, because rather than thinking, 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 you have a way for us to look at planning for next year in a way that's authentically our voice. It's authentically our energy. It's not listening to somebody else tell us what it should be. I am super excited about this free offer that you are giving. Tell us, please, about this incredible offer.
okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm kind of a planner addict. I've been using Passion Planner for many, many years. That's one of my favorite planner books. And I've tried all kinds of different planners. I've tried digital planners. I've tried, many different kinds of planners. But what I've discovered is that handwriting is really the best way to use a planner book, and that's been scientifically proven also, that your brain connects better when you handwrite something. Same with journaling, right? You can journal in a planner book. You can just use it in many different ways. So I love planners. All right. So a couple of years ago, I decided that I really needed some kind of marketing planner book for myself. And so I found how to make a planner book, and I made it for myself. I printed it, had it spiral bound, and I started to use it every 90 days, because 90 days is a really good period of time to plan
Yes.
out pretty much anything, but especially business activities. I mean, it's good to look at the next year and say, okay, what do I want to accomplish by the end of 24? But that's so big that a lot of times you feel like, how am I going to get there? So 90 days is a really good period of time, or each business quarter. Okay, so I've been doing these workshops online, then, that I've created a 2-hour workshop with the planner book, and helping people plan out. And I especially love to do this at the end of the year, because I help them look back through everything that's happened this last year, in a positive light, because things happen for a reason. And maybe this worked, maybe that didn't work, and then why, and then what are you going to do about it, for the first quarter of 24 now, and
Mhm.
first quarter of any new year. And so I really I love doing this, because I meet people, I hear about their business, we network a little bit, we talk about our dreams and plans for our businesses
Yeah.
during this workshop. But it's also really mapping out a concrete, tangible plan of, if I do this, I will get here. If I do this,
Right.
I will get here.
Yes.
And then people can ask me questions, and it's just a really good positive thing to do, especially like right now at the end of the year. So my offer to people is to sign up. It's totally free, and I'm going to give everyone the 4 quarterly workshops starting December, and then, yeah, the next quarter, 4. Okay, they're going to get 4 free 2-hour workshops, and also a digital copy of my planner book, which they can have spiral bound and use the whole year for that, for all of those different workshops.
Mhm.
And so that's just a way for them to connect with me, and then, who knows if we can collaborate on something together. That's really my way of really getting to know people in their business, so that we can figure out, maybe we would be good to work together in some capacity, because
Right.
that's my thing. Team up, make money. All right.
Yes.
So that's what I decided this year. I'm going to give them all for free. In the past, I've charged like about $50 for the 2-hour workshops, but I really am looking at it now as a more of a way to not only help people, but to get to know them and their businesses.
Yes. So tell me what the day is that you're going to be doing this online, this free, incredible offer planning event.
I'll have to look up the exact date here. I think it was the 28th, but I
That
don't
sounds
remember.
right.
Okay. And I'm actually going to be doing 2 workshops on that day and recording it. So if people cannot come They cannot come to either workshop that day because I know it's a busy time of year, but I found there's a lot of downtime between Christmas and New Year. And
Yes.
so, this is a time that I have time to do the workshop. So
Mhm.
this is Pacific time, 9 in the morning until 11. That's
Yes.
Pacific Standard Time on December 28th. And that
Mhm.
will be the first workshop. And then the afternoon one or the evening one will be from 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you sign up, I will email you the information and how to join. It's just going to be on Zoom, and you
Beautiful.
don't have to be on camera. If you don't want to be on camera, I'm totally fine with whatever people want to do. And so prior to that, it would be a good idea to get the planner book. And I highly recommend paying the $20 or $30 or whatever it is to get it spiral bound and printed so that you can use it the whole year.
Yeah. We have a cookbook that's an old cookbook. It's probably been in my family for at least 45 years. It's called More with Less, and it was written by Mennonites. But one of the things that I love about this cookbook that was printed in Canada at least that long ago is that it's spiral bound. And so the pages don't fall out. There is no ripping. It's just so well put together. And so I really do appreciate what you're saying about the spiral bound, because then you can pull it back. So you're looking at just the one page in front of you. One of the ideas of, when we're driving, that they have those double lines right here in America, and the double lines mean do not cross in this area. It is not safe, right? And so one of the things, if I have the whole thing, everything is open, everything's on my desk, I have a hard time concentrating on what I need to do right in front of me, because I'm looking at all the other things that I have that I could be working on as well. And when you take that planner and you fold it back and you have just what's in front of you, it just keeps you from crossing or wanting to cross over the double lines to go someplace else, because it's just safe to sit there and work on what you have in front of you. And I use the word work as a really positive word. My husband got his MBA years ago. It is just a Pacific University. And one of the things that they talked about was that work is really here to uplift and make people's lives better. So whether it's you as the business owner, business is to make your life better. It's to open up doors for you. It's to increase the conversations. It's to level up your own vocabulary. Yes, put more money in the bank, but it's not just for the business owner. It's for everybody that you employ as well. It's to uplift everybody in that process. So when I use the word work, I think of a happy thing of people in community, like you're talking about, teaming up together, having ideas that are fermenting together and working their way into something that might be something that they share with the world. It might just be something that increases or encourages them to get to the next place, to be able to open up other doors, right? So not every single possibility portal is going to be one that's going to necessarily come to the fruition that we potentially can see in the beginning with it. But sometimes those possibility portals introduce us to an idea, a concept, a person, something that then moves another thing forward for us. And I love, love, love that. So yes,
Yes.
absolutely sign up. I'm going to show it one more time. Here is the link. I encourage people to sign up for this. And I love, Donna, that you are going to be recording this. So if people do sign up and they want to go back and listen to it afterwards, if they're not able to get there live, or they come live and there's like that one idea that they missed just because they were taking notes or thinking about something else or were interrupted, they can come back and get that content that you're going to be sharing from all of this years of wisdom that you have been pulling together as somebody who says that you have been a planning addict. And I so appreciate that you have synthesized this for us. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. And, just a little thing about the spiral bound, it lays flat so you can write in it. And I encourage also people to use that as kind of like their business planner book, like
Yes.
journal book, to journal, like when new ideas come. And sometimes during the quarter, you'll be working diligently. You're not seeing great results yet, and you want to pivot into something else. And I
Mhm.
always tell people, just stay with your original plan unless it's a complete disaster. But
Right.
stay with it because you need to be consistent. But
Mhm.
jot down that little idea in that book. So next quarter, maybe that idea will be one that you'll pull forward. And so I do record it, I have kind of like a generic, I call it a clean copy recording. So people can actually use that every quarter or even more often if they just want to revisit the planning process. They'll have that recording. And I also include each year a little bit of something that I see in marketing trends for the next year. And so, of course,
Mhm.
now AI is like the big thing. And so I'll
Mhm.
talk a little bit about AI during this workshop
Yes,
for this year and next year.
sure.
But also for me is this collaboration thing and JV
Mhm.
partnerships. And so
Mhm.
that's something that I'm also going to touch on. I have a whole nother webinar I'm going to invite people to, which is
Mhm.
going to be free also, just to learn more about how to collaborate with other businesses. And this is
Mhm.
such a passion for me now because I have many, many years of networking in business. And
Yes.
sad to say, a lot of times it didn't work out the way that I wanted to. I spent hours, before COVID, especially going to coffee shops and meeting with people and other businesses and doing these one-to-one meetings where we would talk. And sometimes we would have ideas, and sometimes it was just a complete no fit. Like, this is not,
Mhm.
like for me, a plumber, an electrician, like, although they're all wonderful, good people, and I could probably refer to them, it's harder for them to refer to me a lot of times, especially when I was a women's life coach, because they wouldn't really get it, right? And so I found like I need to teach people how to network so they actually will get some kind of future results and not just waste a lot of time and money,
Yeah.
with things that were never probably going to work anyway for them. So
Yeah.
that's like a big passion of mine this whole next year. That's what I'm going to be focused on.
Donna, I so appreciate that. I also like this idea of giving, this idea of giving, whether it's 10% of our income to people who are starting in their businesses or people who are for charity, whatever that happens to look like, right? There are people who have zero religious context who choose to give 10% or more of whatever they bring into their company just because they know the law of flow, and that when we are allowing things to flow and to move, that creates space for more to come in to flow and move as well. And in the past, when I have done some of the things that you're talking about in terms of networking and have come away and just thought, I have come to see that part of that is my 10% of giving my time,
Yeah.
of giving my energy, of giving my wisdom, or just being there to listen. When I was a mentor teacher to new teachers, one of the things that we learned was that the most important thing that we can do is to listen to somebody else. Because when we talk through what we're processing, we're also processing it. And at that point, we so often find our own answer without having to uh, have someone else, dictate this is how you're supposed to do it. And so I really appreciate what you are doing, coming to a place of saying, let's learn how to network together in a way that is really equitable for everybody, or giving value to each person who comes in, and coming with it from that open heart, being heart centered first, right? Coming from that open heart and seeing how we can best encourage and support and be able to further other people's businesses as well. And I say this in the spirit of contribution rather than the spirit of competition.
Yeah.
And having been a classroom teacher for years, there was always this, your scores or your student scores last year were this, can you beat it? There was always this competition, right? And rather than it being a, hey, these ideas worked really well, how can we take these and collaborate with other grade levels and have these ideas then be ones that help everybody, or for us to create something at the school that's collaborative all the way through. So I come from that, from the education place, but I've also seen it as an entrepreneur and love what you were talking about. So thank you so much for listening to this idea and then following this and just allowing the passion to grow with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that to me, everything happens for a purpose and a meaning,
Mhm.
and so even if something appears to be really not good or very difficult, what can we learn through that? How can we use that for good then? How can we turn that into something that we can use for good? And I think there's always a way. It might not be easy, but
Right.
then on this earth, a lot of things that are really worth it are not easy, but they're so worth it. And once you get through, you'll have that wisdom, that knowledge. I call it the real life wisdom, as
Mhm.
we get older. Like, how can we use this real life wisdom to bring good to the world? Because
Yes.
that's really my big why, is to help people bring their purpose, their passion and their purpose
Mhm.
into a business where they can then bring that to many, many, many people in many different ways for good. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to ask you a question that is one that has just come out of our conversations of late. And it's a two-part question. One, it has to do with how organized our workspace is. Why is it important, is the first part of the question, to have a workspace that is organized, or at least that we feel comfortable in? And then how can we move towards not just creating it, but maintaining it?
Okay, gosh. Okay, that's a big question for sure. All right, so I consider myself a very creative person.
Mhm.
I mean, I kind of have both, because I do technology, but I also am a very creative person. For years, I hid behind that as, well, I'm an artist, and artists have messy space, and that's just what we do. Like, we have a messy workspace or workshop or whatever you want to call it. And I know where everything is. Yeah, there's piles of papers, but I know what's in those piles of papers. And my husband is very, very meticulous and organized. And so there was always this conflict. Well, throughout the years, I've came to realize that that really was a little lie that I was telling myself, because to me, I really function a lot better, which many things I've learned from my husband. I function a lot better when I have a clear space and a way to think more clearly, because I'm in that clear, more organized space. But a big, big thing is to learn to let go of the things that do not serve us anymore. I say lovingly say goodbye to things that
Yes.
don't serve us anymore. And
Yes.
gosh, I've done so many trainings. Okay, I love to learn. I am like a lifelong long learner for sure. I love to teach. I love to learn.
Yes.
And so I've been to many, many seminars, many, many like programs I've been through where I have binders and binders full of notes.
Mhm.
And the thing is with me, there's always another something coming. So it's like, okay, I did that, now what? I did that, now what? I'm always moving forward. And so I've realized in a big way in the last couple of months that I have a lot of information that I'm probably never going to look at again, because there's the World Wide Web, my goodness, and now we have AI, and there's more and more and more information, good
Right.
information, really great stuff. Am I
Yes.
ever going to look back at all these notes? I mean, not to say that they served me for the time, but are they serving me now?
Right.
And to just say, this is really not, have I looked at this even in how many years? No.
Mhm.
Okay. I have to lovingly say thank you for,
Yes.
what you've helped me with, this person who did the seminar, whoever.
Mhm.
Thank you. And I'm going to say goodbye now. And so I'm actually throwing out binders and binders of information, and I'm feeling really good about it for the first time. Like, I would have never done that, because I
Yeah.
would have thought, I paid so much money for this conference. I need to keep this. I might look at it. Oh my gosh. And so it's really freeing my soul now. And
Mhm.
my office is a work in progress right now, especially, but little by little, I'm starting to feel like I don't even want this stuff anymore. Like, before, I had this block or something, because I keep saying, I need to make space for this new opportunity that I'm
Mhm.
pursuing, because I'm going to need time and space and lots of energy. I need to be able to work out in my office. My office is a
Yes.
workspace. I can work out in there. I can do stretching. I can do meditating. I have a little sofa. I can do meditating. I've
Mhm.
made this into a space that I really enjoy. But at the same time, now my husband is finally building me a she shed in our yard, and I'm so excited. He's making
Oh,
it just for me. And
yes.
so I've been, asking for this and asking for that. And he's very good at building things and woodworking. And so he's making it just beautiful. And so that will be my new office space. And then I'm going to turn my office in my home into a guest room, and an artist space where I can actually work on art. We paint, I draw, I do doodling. That's my other thing. Doodle Donna. Like, that's my side gig. I love to draw cute little, like, simple little pictures, and
Mhm.
have those represent like my business stuff. So
Yes.
that's a lot, but I forget if did I cover what you
So
asked me?
that's the why, and I really appreciate that. And the thought that came to me as you were speaking about throwing those binders out, you don't need them anymore because you embody the information. You've heard it, it's inside of your being, And as you are putting pieces together, it's going to come forward for you, especially as you were sitting in meditation and listening, it's going to come forward. So that was the why. And I really appreciate you speaking about it, Donna, from the point of being a creative, that it's still okay to have things organized and it doesn't take away from the creative, actually enhances it. So the second part of the question was, how can we, after we get it organized, or we move towards that, how can we continue to keep things where they are supposed to be?
Okay. Okay, yeah, I knew there was another part that I was forgetting. And that probably I was conveniently forgetting because that I'm still working on. Okay. But this is my goal with that.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, I always will put away whatever is out in some capacity, even if it's just putting it in the corner in a little stack there, for the next day. But I want my desk clear and I want my surroundings as organized as they can be the night before. And I know, like,
Mhm.
sometimes I'm just tired, but once I start get up and do it, it's not that hard. It's usually just a few things if I don't let it go. Now, if I let it go week after week and I don't do that, it ends up
Mhm.
more and more stuff
Yeah.
cluttered everywhere. But my big goal for not just my office, but
Mhm.
my entire home is each month to pick a room, and I don't have enough rooms for 12, so I'll just cycle back around, but to
Sure.
say during that month, I am going to go through the cupboards, the drawers, the space, and I'm going to use the same concept of how long has it been since I looked at this?
Yeah.
Do I really need this?
Mhm.
How is it serving me? And not, oh, I might need it someday, but if I'm not using it right now and it's been a period of time, to
Mhm.
lovingly say goodbye. You
Yes.
served me for the time. Even if it's something that I bought and I never used and I feel some little bit of guilt, to say, I bought
Mhm.
that for a reason. Maybe that just served the purpose at the time that I thought I needed that thing. That's okay. Like,
It
to give
is.
yourself the grace. And
Mhm.
it's so sad because we in this country, in the United States, we have
Mhm.
so much. And
Yes.
I think it's creating like a form of spiritual poverty because the
Mhm.
clutter again makes us not be able to focus on the really important things a lot of times.
Yes.
And it brings this shame and guilt,
Mhm.
because you have stuff that maybe you're not using or you have too
Mhm.
much stuff. It's interesting. I have a good friend who lives in Australia, and they have the same problems there. We find so many things in common. It's really interesting. I think it's more of the Western culture, this excess that we grew up with and that we can have because things have been so good, but that isn't necessarily good,
Yeah.
so to look at that. So yeah, my office, I think my office is the hardest part for me to really keep clutter free. It has been, but from this point forward, I don't really see that I'm going to have as big of a problem because I've never been able to release the stuff like I have
Yeah.
been in this last month.
Yeah.
Also, this is one last thing I want to throw in with it. I've actually hired an accountability coach who I absolutely love. I've never heard of this before, but I meet with her for 15 minutes a day and we just go over my goal and how is that working for me? Did I do what I said I was going to do? And then she has like a online portal thing where I go in there and check off what I've done
Mhm.
and how many minutes I spent doing it. And then at the end, like, I set a reward, which is a big monitor that I'm going to get for my graphic design work that I do.
Beautiful.
And
Oh, I love that.
yeah,
Yes.
when I reach my goal, I'm gonna get that, so.
You are worthy of that, Donna. Yes, yes, yes. A tool that somebody shared with me more than 30 years ago was setting a timer.
Oh,
And that whatever the job is that I need to do that I don't want to do, every day set a timer for 15 minutes. And just at that point, so if I'm cleaning out a drawer, I'm cleaning out the drawer. When the timer goes off, I'm done. I don't have to go further than that. Just that commitment, 15 minutes a day. And by doing it, when you look at your full day, all the things that you're getting to do, if you look at how much time that you spend allocating towards whatever, if you choose, 15 works well for me. For some people, maybe it's more of a 5 minute. Some people, maybe it's going to be more than that. But setting that space and that time aside to say, this is the amount of time. And then for me, I'm more of a morning person. So if I'm going to be working through things, I want to have some quiet time and some time to stretch and some time to kind of, be by myself and wake up in the morning. And then after that, after breakfast and being with people and stuff, I'm really happy to set a timer and go do something for a few minutes, knowing that I will come back and have other things to work on. And so if I put it for myself at the end of the day, that's the time that I'm going to chunk out to work through going through um, things that may be memorabilia plus family things and other things and pieces that maybe I need to ask other people, can I get rid of this or what do we do with it? Those kinds of things. I find that I don't sleep as well afterwards because I'm still in this space of the unknown with it. And so I like doing my stuff more in the morning. So I just really encourage our listening audience, our viewers as well, to be kind of looking at your own energy and determine what's best for you. And if it's better for you to set aside a day, then and during that day, stay between the double lines, right? Turn everything else off that could possibly pull you away to go do something else and commit yourself to that. But if it's going to be for just a few minutes a day, it's okay to do it in the few minutes and make it happen during that time.
Yes, yes. Okay, so I'm a planner addict, but I'm also a timer addict. And so I have to tell
Beautiful.
you, my most favorite timer that I've ever
Yeah.
used. It's called the Extra Big and Loud Timer. It actually is the Extra Big and Loud Timer. And
Wow.
so this timer is amazing because it's by ThermoWorks. Okay, it's amazing because a coach taught me this years ago, and I do exactly what you're saying as far as like working on projects and decluttering.
Mhm.
I set a timer, and mine is 30 minutes, and it's like
Yeah.
late morning, same thing.
Yep.
What he said is when you're doing like your business stuff, especially a call with someone, and like some of your clients, you might know, like, okay, I like to talk a lot with them. They like to talk a lot, and we're probably going to go over. So you set your timer for however much time you've allotted. And when that timer goes off, it's really loud so everybody can hear it. And then you say, oh my gosh, okay, need to wrap things up. We have a couple of minutes left. Let's just bring some closure, and so we can move into the next phase of whatever we're going to do and not feel like we're still hanging there. So to honor your time, like that is a really important thing. And I love the fact that this is so loud. And he was a really funny guy. He said, you can also use this when you get on the phone with your mother-in-law. Like you can, and when it goes off, she'll hear it. And you can say, oh my gosh, Mom, do you hear that? That means I have to go. Okay, see you later. Bye. So, and I don't use it for that, but I thought that was funny that he said, bringing some, because it can be kind of like, all this organization and structure, like for a creative person that can feel, I don't want to say heavy, but restrictive. It can feel restrictive, because, oh my gosh, I'm a free spirit. But to use these tools in a way that can serve us, and
Yes.
they can serve other people because it brings more clarity to them too.
Yeah. And the term that I've been using a lot on the homestead has been a science project. So Mom will say to me, you planted all the onions now and it's the fall. And I said, yes, I did. And because what she was saying was plant them a few at a time so that you're harvesting them a few at a time. And all 150 white ones and all 75 of the red, all the sets are out. They're all planted. I didn't know any better. We're just going for it. And we had a really good laugh over that. And then I turned and I said, once more, Mom, it's a science project, right? I don't know what I don't know. And so for people who are feeling like, cleaning up or decluttering really doesn't sound like it's my thing and I'm going to lose something in that process, I just invite you to declutter one area and just see how you feel. And it can be one drawer. It can be your drawer that's your toothbrush or that whatever it happens to be in, right? But just do one in a vanity place or something and see how that feels. Do it as a science project. And if you don't like it, then it's really easy just to put other things in there with it and, to move on. But I do love this idea. And for me also, I have heard from other people talking about the compounding effect. Darren Hardy talks about do this every do for the 3 months, for the 90 days that our brain can wrap itself around a season. We really are seasonal people. And when we can do 90 days and build the success on that. And I love what you said earlier, Donna, that whole idea that stick with it unless it's just absolutely not, but stick with it for 90 days because you don't know what you don't know. And it could just be 2 more days away. It could be 82 hours in front of you that the right thing happens and all kinds of things open up. And so being in that space, and so really making those 90-day commitments and desires. I will share with you a concept that I've also heard several other people talk about when it comes to planning and time. I know that I am very committed to a calendar. I'm very connected into a calendar. When I sit down to do my calendar for the next year, I go and put all of our family vacations and all the fun things that we're going to do on the calendar first, because I want those spaces preserved for the memory making, for the connections, for that space for fun. And then after that's going to come things for the business, and other pieces are going to go in there, right? Doctor's appointments and stuff. But in that process of doing this, somebody, I've heard this more than once, has challenged me. If you say that you're going to do it in 6 months, can you do it in half the time? And when I was asked that again last week, I said, okay, I'm going to put this on my calendar and I'm going to write down, I'm choosing to say in half of the time, because I'm writing that literally down. I'm choosing to stay in half the time that we're going to have this many people, because for me, it's about Simply Sarah this next year. In 2023, for Simply Sarah, I was interested in getting it off the ground and figuring out how to press the buttons and all those kinds of pieces, right? In 2024, in the first 6 months, and now it's going to be the first 90 days of 2024, it's really about expanding our reach, expanding for people to be able to hear and to know that we exist. And so I'm putting that in there also, having the time, putting the time in half out of curiosity to see, because magic can happen, right? Don't you agree, Donna?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I love the name Simply Sarah. That I was so attracted to the first time, probably at the beginning of last year, when I saw that you chose that name. I just
Yes.
went, oh, that's so perfect. Because people, again, I think are just kind of on overload with technology and so much information coming at us and so much stuff coming at
Yes.
us, that I really long for simplicity.
Yes.
And so that really resonates with my soul. So I'm
Mhm.
really excited to be talking with you today, just because I think, like, this is one of the keys that is going to help people move forward in their life,
It
is to be
is.
able to, like, say, I only have one life. What do I really want to do with it? Do I want to be drowning in this stuff, or do I want to make some space so that new and better things can come in?
Yes. Yes. I love how you're talking about allowing space and allowing things to have their time, to have allowing things to be things that we've worked on and done. I know that there are several things that I'm looking at that I've taken off my calendar, and I send out a weekly email. And for people who want to be on that, it's at sarahstockham.com. You can access it, or you can go into my Instagram, also at Sarah Stockham, and find it in the link there, in the bio link. But in that process of doing that, in my weekly, what I send out every single week, there have been things that I have been saying, hey, once a month, let's do this, or once a quarter, let's do this, or let's do these different kinds of pieces. And I've come to a place of realizing that there are other people now inside of the community who have taken those pieces on, and that I don't need to do those pieces anymore. And how beautiful and freeing it is. And it was never a conversation of, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Will you please do it? It was never like that. Things that I would still love to do, but I don't need to do them. And so that's just spirit saying to me, Sarah, I've opened up these spaces. What are you going to do with that? Are there things that we could also do that are new and different? And so making spaces for those things. And there'll come a time, perhaps in the future, where it'll come back for me to take that over again. Maybe, maybe not. But the
Mhm.
beauty of that linking arms and just allowing the unseen world to weave things together in a beautiful pattern.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole thing. Even like if you hire people to work your business with you or help you in your business, and then
Yes.
again collaborating with other people, and how you can then multiply your efforts and
Yeah,
grow much faster and create a win-win situation for people. Whether they're
absolutely.
employed or you're like exchanging different things that you can help each other with. And to be able to create that, like purposely create that, not just
Yes.
like wait for it to happen,
Hmm.
or try to create something that maybe isn't the right thing. I think
Yes.
it's best to like plan it all out, and
Hmm.
really and find the right people.
Yes. Yes. And I think also that there's come with conversation about AI and about our personal information that it used to be that people could sell email lists. And so that you could get onto all kinds of lists without ever knowing how you'd gotten there. And that there really is this opt in, opt out kind of a thing. And so it gives people the opportunity to authentically say, this is what my business stands for. If you want to come and join and be part of this, then come join us. And if this isn't for you, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because again, in that spirit of collaboration rather than competition, in the space of collaboration, there is plenty, there is plenty, there's plenty.
Yeah, right, exactly. And because we have this ability at this time in history to reach the entire world at our
Yes.
fingertips, we don't
Yes.
have to worry about competition. We
Right.
just have to worry about shining bright so that what we
Yes.
have people can see. Because if they can't see you, they can't connect with you. So
Right.
how can you show the world what you have? And that you're right, there's going to be people who say, yeah, that isn't for me, I don't want that, and that's good.
It
Because
is.
yes, you don't want people on your email list that don't want to be hearing from you. So
Exactly. And
yeah.
as your story changes, as your product offer changes and evolves, there are going to be those who are going to come along with, and
Yeah.
those who are going to say, thank you, this is where the path ends. And that's okay as well to allow those spaces for that. Because again, it's gifting the people who are there at the right time for the right people at the right moment to be able to fully engage with what it is that you are offering. So I'm going to put your offer back up again. Speaking of offers, my friend, just about this incredible offer to be able to come in on December 28th, 2023, to begin planning for 2024 in a way that is authentic for you. Donna's not going to ask you to do it in a way that's authentic for her. She's going to teach you how to do it for you. And these are skills that you're going to be able to use the rest of your life. Donna, this is truly an incredible offer that you are giving.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm excited because, like I said, my main goal is to meet people, get to know them. And,
Yes,
even if they don't want to join the workshop, they can go to my website and schedule a short call with me. And I know
absolutely.
people call them like coffee chats, but
Yes,
I look at it as just like, who are you? What do you do? How can I help you? Are we even a fit to work together in any capacity? And
right.
then maybe we could collaborate, but just to say that,
Mhm.
yeah, like, I want to get to know you.
Yes.
That's really, to me, number one. Like, you absolutely have to
Mhm.
know if you connect with someone in a way that you wanna connect with them.
Yes, exactly. Donna, thank you so much for the gift of this time together, for sharing your tools and techniques with the Simply Sarah audience, and for encouraging, enlightening, for this incredible offer, for empowering. I know that 2024 is going to open in ways that are going to be phenomenal, not just in business, but also in terms of who we are, because we have to grow first in order for our business to be able to grow, correct?
Yes, absolutely, it's a holistic thing,
Mhm.
your business is a part of who you are. It is not separate. I mean, it's a holistic thing that you're doing when you start a business, especially a purpose-driven business.
Yes. Yes, service based. And that's exactly who you are. Well, thank you, friend. We're going to have more conversations in the future. I can tell, because when you get your collaboration piece all put together, this audience is going to want to hear all about it, because you are service first, heart centered. And that's what we're all about. So thank you.
Thank you. This has been such a pleasure, Sarah.
Absolutely. Well, as we are wrapping up today, again, I'm just so grateful that you are here. One of the things that we are finishing out with 2023 is that we are putting together, Michael and I are supporting this incredible nonprofit. And if this is something that you want to do, we're just going to share this with you as we finish out today. Do you wonder if you can actually make a difference in a war-torn country half a world away? One man has decided a difference can be made. The Mama Lynn Center in central Congo gives women who have been ravaged by war a chance at a new life. Women and their families, including husbands, come to learn how to move forward. The women are taught sewing skills to be able to create an income. At the end of their year-long training, each graduate receives a sewing machine. This is where your support dramatically impacts lives. $150 US provides a new hand-operated sewing machine. Here's the link and QR code to join Sarah and Michael Stockham in positively changing futures through the Mama Lynn Sewing Machine Project. We are grateful for the opportunity to share how you can make a significant difference.